Nama Samkriti Rupina Syad Evam Prabuddho na Bibeti Bhutai. The false ego gives shapes to illusory material existence and thus experiences material happiness and distress. The spirit soul, however, is transcendental to material nature. It can never actually be affected by material happiness and distress in any place, under any circumstance, or by the agency of any person. A person who understands this has nothing whatsoever to fear from the material creation. The Brahmana has refuted 6 specific explanations of the happiness and distress of the living entity, and now he refutes any other explanation that might be given. On the basis of false ego, the bodily covering factually overwhelms the spirit soul, and thus one falsely enjoys and suffers that which has no real relationship with oneself. One who can understand the sublime teaching of the Brahmana, spoken by the Lord to Uddhava, will never again suffer the terrible anxiety of fear within the material world. To understand very practically what he has said, because it is only the false ego is the false thing. As the name suggests, it's the ego is false. And so we have to come to the real ego. That is all. And coming to the real ego is being a servant of Krishna. That is the whole problem. Actually, I was just thinking all the other mantras people chant, even Om. Yesterday, I heard someone chanting Om so nicely, and I felt Om is Krishna. Chanted very, very nice. Om. You have to chant not Om, but Om. And with so much, sincerity and concentration. So but Om is also much easier to chant. And then even other Devata mantras are there. I've, at various occasions, sometime or the other, tried them, and they are all much, much easier to chant in the sense that your attention does not get distracted. Mind does not rebel so much. You can easily chant other mantras. That's how so many people are chanting other mantras. So many people. And they get the results also fast. Hare Krishna mantra is very, very special because it is touching the raw nerve of false ego. That is why it is the most difficult mantra to chant. Even though there are no rules and regulations, anybody can chant any age, in any condition of life. You don't even have to bathe, nothing. That is all, these just to attract us to come to chant, because you see how we are struggling to chant because of this. This is the last snare of Maya, which keeps us bound here in the material world. And the ego is the only cause for our existence here. And so it rebels and rebels. No, no, no. I want to be whatever I am, this body. And then that is why the mind is pulling us, come start. Remember that you're the body. Remember, it's constantly giving us, pulling us back. Because Hare Krishna mantra is, I'm servant of Krishna. We're telling him, please, Krishna, I want to serve you. And then the mind is saying, no, 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 you're the body. Have you forgotten? And false ego is constantly there. So that's why Hare Krishna mantra, we struggle so much. I don't think anybody else has these many things instructed to them about Hare Krishna, about mantras. They'll just give some mantra. Okay, you sit and meditate and chant, and many of them manage to do that. There's no suffering, a struggle to chant like Hare Krishna mantra. Even though even child can chant and all that, it's very simple. But because of that one thing which is keeping us here, which is, no, I don't want to serve Krishna. That's the only thing. So if we do that, then we can understand this. The false ego gives shape to illusory material existence and thus experiences material happiness and distress. It's only in the false ego. And where is false ego attached to? The mind. The mind only is dwelling on the false ego. Mind can decide where to go, false ego or real ego. So we have to separate ourselves from mind. If we think we are the mind will keep on disturbing us with so many thoughts. I need this, I want this, so many desires, and some we may not even be aware. It will be so subtle. But we have to say that whatever comes from the mind is not me. It is mind. That is separate entity altogether. And it's not a living thing, but it's a machine, separate. Mind is not me. And when we separate ourselves from the mind, then we can surrender. Soul wants to surrender to Krishna. Krishna, I surrender completely to you, and I don't want all that external thing, mind which is tormenting me with any desire, something to keep us away from surrendering to Krishna. What about this? You always wanted this. And something about being the Lord, wanting to control, wanting to enjoy with the senses. All this is coming from the mind. And we have to understand that it will never give me, it will never satisfy me, because I'm not the mind at all. It's false. False ego is false ego influencing the mind. So if we don't identify with the mind, then there is no material happiness and distress at all. It is all coming from the mind only. But eternally we'll feel blissful in the service of Krishna. So it's a very intelligent choice to make, and we have to be convinced about us being different from the mind. We keep on listening to our mind, and we think we are that. And whatever the mind says, if I don't follow that instruction, then I'm going to be unhappy. See how nicely it is completely convinced us that if you don't follow me, then you're going to be unhappy. And that's why the minute mind says something, we're not able to control, and then we just act according to that. But if we understand the distinction, then Paramatma is already reached. That is what the Bhagavad Gita says. One who's able to control the mind, Paramatma is already reached. So then we'll only listen to Paramatma, will not listen to the mind. So that is the way we can never actually be affected by material happiness and distress in any place, under any circumstance, or by the agency of any person. A person who understands this has nothing whatsoever to fear from the material creation. That's all. We are all suffering in the material creation only because of forgetfulness of Super Soul, Krishna, who's there. We forget him and we become victims of Maya and we suffer and enjoy. But the minute we just surrender to our, understand that I'm not the mind, and once we do that, then the Paramatma is already reached. There is no question of falsely enjoying and suffering. That which has no real relationship with oneself. One who can understand this sublime teaching of the Brahmana, spoken by the Lord to Uddhava, will never again suffer the terrible anxiety or fear within the material world. We're always fearful, right? Oh, will my desires be fulfilled or not? Will they be fulfilled or not? There is no desire only, no material desire. Desire is only to serve Krishna. Then everything will be wonderful. Krishna will engage us in that. We don't even have to worry. It will just unfold itself. The excitement, we don't know what Krishna is going to unfold. And we know that it's all going to be fantastic. Nobody even thinks tomorrow what's going to happen. And that the Gopas and who are going for, cowherding with Krishna, every day some new thing happened. Some Asura used to come and Krishna used to kill, like that. Something or the other with Krishna, it's never a dull moment. But they never asked what's going to happen tomorrow, Krishna. Who's going to come? Nothing. They were just blissful. Whether they never were even afraid. Agasura was sitting there with his huge mouth wide open, waiting to swallow them. And they just walked into it thinking, Krishna is following, he will take care. And Krishna came, and imagine, Krishna also walked into that, and Agasura shut his mouth. And then all the devatas were watching from above, were thinking, oh, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Because they have little material attachment. So that is why they experience some little fear and anxiety. But the Gopas, they are not at all, they don't have any false ego. So they were just cool. Oh, it looks like a nice cave. Let's walk in. And they didn't even think. But it also, they had a doubt. Looks like a demon, right? But anyway, Krishna's there, and they walked in. So that is cool. You can just enjoy yourself. The only thing for us, which is an austerity, is to think of Krishna. That's all. We have to always think of him. And that becomes very natural when the false ego is removed. The only reason why we keep on forgetting Krishna is because of false ego. We want to live in the false identification of our mind and body. And so, if we are determined, no, Krishna, I want my real identity, then we'll really, really pray to him. Please help me to come. I don't want this false dress that I'm wearing. I want my reality. And I want to be always in this mood of serving you. That is real ego. And then we'll never feel any fear or anxiety in the material world. Etam sa astaya paratmanishtam adhyasitam purvatamair maharishibi aham tarishyami durantaparam tamo mukundangri nishevayaiva. I shall cross over the insurmountable ocean of nations by being firmly fixed in the service of the lotus feet of Krishna. This was approved by the previous acharyas who were fixed in firm devotion to the Lord, Paramatma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This verse is quoted by Krishnadas Kaviraj in his Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 3.6. Srila Prabhupada comments as follows. In connection with this verse, which is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 11.23.57, Srila Bhakti Siddhant Saraswati Thakur says that of the 64 items required for rendering devotional service, acceptance of the symbolic marks of sannyasa is a regulative principle. If one accepts the sannyasa order, his main business is to devote his life completely to the service of Mukunda Krishna. If one does not completely devote his mind and body to the service of the Lord, he does not actually become a sannyasi. It is not simply a matter of changing dress. In Bhagavad Gita 6.1, it is also stated, Anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karoti ya sa sannyasi cha yogi cha. One who works devotedly for the satisfaction of Krishna is a sannyasi. The dress is not sannyas, but the attitude of service to Krishna is. Yesterday, I was really, really inspired, because to see Modi ji in Abu Dhabi, because Abu Dhabi, we've been there, and so it was very, exciting to know. And then big temple coming up there, and the diaspora were there, and they're having a huge, huge stadium, Sheikh Zayed Stadium, which is really, really huge. I don't know how many people can accommodate, they didn't say. And all people from UAE, from all the 7 Emirates, they all had come over to see Modi. And the temple also, they have 7 minarets, 7 domes to represent the this thing, what you call, 7 Emirates. And who was it constructed by? All the money of this Swami Narayan group. They only can do such big, big temples everywhere. And so it's a big event. And they're so very appreciative of India because of Modi. There's a lot of, praise. Even there's so much of welcoming. 7 times this in the last 10 years of his rule. 7 times he's been to Abu Dhabi. And the Sheikh Zayed, the Sultan, not Sultan, Emir. He has also come here, India, 5 times. Oh no, 3 times or something. I don't know. 5 or 4, whatever, many times here. So there is a lot of friendship and all that. The mood is changed because they feel that Hinduism is very, very tolerant. And so they trust Hinduism. And they also want to open up and be more tolerant happening. It's something really, really very revolutionary thing happening. And I was just watching Modi, how, such an adulation there was from the crowd, so much of cheering and everything. They were all so happy because it was because of him only it happened. He went, the first visit only he went, and he requested for land to build a temple there. And the emir agreed, and land was given. So it's all because of him it's happening. And everybody is very grateful to him for that. And not only that, there also so many Muslims were there wearing this Indian Muslims, and I don't know, the local Muslim also, I think. They were all sitting there and cheering Modi, imagine. And at such an event, I was just watching his face. So serene, so detached. And he was only talking about all the people, the benefit for the India, for them, he was glorifying everyone in a nice way. In a sincere way. He genuinely believes that it's not simply I have to give one speech. Okay, this is how I have to talk. It came from his heart, and everyone was so inspired. Every sentence was cheered by the people, and it didn't leave a iota of any. You can make out that I was thinking, the Bhagavad Gita, what we read, how a person should be. You can just see him in action. Oh, this is how a person, because he was serving Krishna as a servant. He's pleasing to everyone. Everyone is pleased, and this is the greatest miracle that he has made the Muslim countries become very open. Now, next, we won't be surprised if Saudi also says we'll build a temple there. How is he able to manage to do that? Because of this Bhagavad Gita, he is living by the Bhagavad Gita. He does everything for Krishna's satisfaction. And he's a humble servant of everyone, not at all thinking about himself. And he doesn't enjoy being, other people, they will feel, oh, everybody is saying Modi, Modi, and all that. They will bask in that. You can see, he's not at all even, he's not even putting in this thing at all. So serene, so calm. And from his lecture, you can know what is running in his mind, always thinking of doing service to, even if you just serve humanity or for your own sake, there is some sense gratification. But he is surrendered to God, surrendered to, I don't know who's his Ishtadev. Maybe keep it Ram because he did the Pran Pratishtha. No. He's doing it to, he's doing it as in order to serve or please Krishna, not for him. So, oh, I'm a great leader and I'm taking care of all these people. Not even that. As a humble servant, and every time he was connecting, whatever glory was given to him, he said, this belongs to 1 crore, 40 lakh, the 1.4 crore people in my country, in Bharatvarsh. And really, he transfers it. And that's why all over the world, now Indians are saying we feel very respected. It's all because of Modi. Now, India's status has gone up so much. Before also, same Indians only, now they were doing a lot everywhere, all countries, they were doing well. But nobody, they were really not respected. Their glories were not understood. But one person, Modi, went there. And now everybody, Indians are respected everywhere. So you can see the power of not acting on false. Just a minute. So you can see the power of not working on the false ego platform, but working on the real ego as a servant. What he is able to do, how he is able to touch so many hearts, and not only the most impossible things he is able to achieve of making all those Muslim countries, agree to becoming more tolerant. It's only by his telling. And not only that, the Qatar sent back all the people who they were going to hang they for spying, so called. I mean, they accused him wrongly, but by Modi's intervention, they were all released and sent back to India. So that is what made me. I mean, this is not. I'm not discussing politics. I'm discussing is what how he's acting on the platform of real ego, and so miracles are happening. That is the thing. You can just study him because he's acting on the material world. So how we acting on this material world, how a consciousness can be as a servant of Krishna. He's not a sannyasi. Maybe he had taken sannyas, but right now he's not as I mean, he's not wearing saffron robes and all that. He is very much a politician. He's very active in politics. He's always thinking about he's working, meeting all kinds of people. But just see how he's able to be untouched, detached, not afraid of anything, not at all afraid or anxious about anything. So that is what dress is not sannyasa, but the attitude of service to Krishna is. And I was thinking, he's not even a Kshatriya or anything. He's a Raja Rishi. Really, just so nice. And may he live a long, very, very long life. We need such people. The word Paratma Nishta means being a devotee of Lord Krishna. Paratma, the Supreme Person, is Krishna. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. Those who are completely dedicated to the lotus feet of Krishna and service are actual sannyasis. As a matter of formality, the devotee accepts the sannyasa dress as previous acharyas did. He also accepts the three dandas. Actually, Prabhupada never was keen on taking sannyas or anything. He was always, anyway, even as a grist, he said, I don't remember any time when I forgot Krishna. So he didn't need to take sannyas. Simply, he took that because his family life was not congenial for doing all the service his guru had told him. Later, Vishnu Swami considered that accepting the dress of a Tridandi was Paratmanishta. Therefore, sincere devotees add another danda, the Jiva danda, to the three existing dandas. So, three dandas are body, mind, words, are all in the service of Krishna. And then the third one is the soul, Jiva danda, on the top. He added it because the soul also is completely surrendered, not only body, mind, words, the soul fully surrendered to Krishna. The Vaishnava sannyasi is known as Tridandi sannyasi. The Mayavadi sannyasi accepts only one danda, not understanding the purpose of Tridanda, because they don't have any service concept at all. They just say, now I've become one, I've become Brahman. That's why they carry only one danda. Later, many persons in the community of Shiva Swami gave up the Atmanishta, devotional service of the Lord, and followed the path of Shankaracharya. Oh, Shiva Swami. Okay. And instead of accepting 108 names, those in the Shiva Swami Sampradaya follow the path of Shankaracharya and accept the 10 names of sannyasa. So in Vaishnava Sampradaya, they have 108 names. Although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the then existing order of sannyasa, namely Ekadanda, he still recited a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam about the Tridanda sannyasa accepted by the Brahmana of Avantipura. Indirectly, he declared that within that Ekadanda, one danda, four dandas actually existed as one. Accepting um, accepting accepting Ekadanda sannyasa without paratmanishta, that is devotional service to Krishna, is not acceptable to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In addition, according to the exact regulative principles, one should add the Jiva Danda to that Tridanda. These four dandas, bound together as one, are symbolic of unalloyed devotional service to the Lord. Because the Ekadandi sannyasis of the Mayavada school are not devoted to the service of Krishna, they try to merge into the Brahman effulgence, which is a marginal position between material and spiritual existence. They accept this impersonal position as liberation. Mayavadi sannyasis, not knowing that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a Tridandi, think of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as an Ekadandi sannyasi. This is due to their vivarta, or bewilderment. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there is no such thing as an Ekadandi sannyasi. Indeed, the Tridandi sannyasi is accepted as the symbolic representation of the sannyasa order. By citing this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the sannyasa order recommended in Srimad Bhagavatam. The Mayavadi sannyasis who are enamored of the external energy of the Lord cannot understand the mind of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, to understand Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and what he stands for, we have to come out of Maya. We have to chant Hare Krishna and pray to the Lord. Please take away this curtain of Maya. Only by chanting Hare Krishna we can understand all this. Otherwise, there are some materialistic people, it won't make any sense to them. And Mayavadis, impersonalists, also cannot understand the mind of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How much, it is filled with devotion. They don't know what is devotion and all that. So they think he is also like us, only just sannyasi. To date, all the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, following in his footsteps, accept the sannyasa order, keep the sacred thread and tuft of unshaved hair. Ekadandi sannyasis of the Mayavadi school give up the sacred thread and do not keep any tuft of hair. Therefore, they are unable to understand the purport of Tridanda sannyasa, and as such, they are not inclined to dedicate their lives to the service of Mukunda. Because Ekadanda, there's no concept of body, mind, words. They're just saying we are already merged into Brahman, we are liberated. So they don't know what is this Tridanda, that you're using it in the service of Krishna. It is possible. Body, mind, words, they're all material, but they are used in the service of Krishna. Then it becomes transcendental. They don't understand how matter can become transcendental. They just don't know. And they think everything is Maya. They simply think of merging into the existence of Brahman because of their disgust with material existence. The Acharyas who advocate the Daiva Varnashrama, the social order of Chaturvarnyam mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, do not accept the proposition of Asura Varnashrama, which maintains that social order of Varna is indicated by birth. The So these are for sannyasis, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had most of them were grasta devotees. Then how will he be intimate with grasta devotees? If they were all, they were all in Maya, only sannyasis have to be Krishna conscious. They all had children, many of them had jobs, and still Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very intimate with them. So it isn't to do with the varna or ashrama. It is the attitude. And we shouldn't think, oh, only sannyasis need to do all this. Three danda and all. I'm not going to carry three danda. So my body, mind, and all doesn't have to do that. We also have to dedicate all work. I mean, Krishna spoke to Arjuna, who's a family person and a warrior and all that. All of us. So that's why in the third chapter, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that you don't have to externally become a sannyasi. You do your work, and if you're not attached to the results of the work, you are a sannyasi at heart. That is true sannyas. If you take, and he also said, if simply you take sannyas, but you're thinking about results, then you are just a false sannyasi. And it doesn't mean that once a person takes sannyasi, he's a pure devotee. He's just initiated into the sannyas ashrama and he has to work himself. It is just that, okay, he's given up his attachment for, gross, this thing of gross enjoyment of the gross sex desire, but he may have many subtle sex desires like name, fame, position. That may all still be there in a sannyasi, and he has to work himself to go to the Paramahamsa stage. But if somebody staying in whatever ashram, I mean, yeah, brahmachari or grahastha or vanaprastha, but they are thinking about serving Krishna always, and service comes very naturally to the soul. It doesn't matter whether which varna you are or which ashrama you are. Soul is different from all this varna and ashrama. And we can also use our body, mind, and words in serving Krishna. Anything we do, even if it is a housewife, so how can she become, um, you know, what do you call, um, uh, how can she give up a false ego or in the heart without expecting results? So it's easier for a, actually, it's easier for a homemaker to become, be detached, because the results are what? I mean, if when you're in the outside world and there's a lot of competition and all that, that time it's more difficult to be detached. In the house, it is all for your, you are doing for your family and for Krishna. And you just connect it that I'm a servant of Krishna, first Krishna. And then everybody will be benefited by that. And then you don't mind about the results. That is the thing. We should not be attached to results. Means I'm not the enjoyer of the results. I just did my job. Now you see, you take care, Krishna. We have to just leave it, whatever it is. We do our best, we do our duty, and leave it all to Krishna. So one can very easily become, um, give up one's false ego and become a devotee of Krishna in any circumstance. Everybody, even those who are working outside and also there also, we do our best and not worry about the results at all. So for that, we need to come out of the clutches of the mind. We have to give up our false ego, which the mind is constantly saying, you are the body, you are the mind. Especially when you are with outside people, they're all thinking they are the bodies. Then we only think, no, I'm not the body. If we, if we don't have a strong sadhana and you don't read the books and all that, you'll also start believing, yeah, I'm the body only, but I'm better than them because at least I'm chanting. That is all. A little better. But if we continue thinking I'm the body also, then we don't make progress. So everything is within. All the, whatever the identity must be within. We don't have to prove that I'm thinking I'm not the body by wearing shabby clothes. And that is what Mayavadis, they think, you should not at all be interested in anything, in food. You should not be interested in dressing up properly, because that is only show that you're very detached. Nothing need to be external like that. Internal, we should just do it as a matter of duty, as a service. In fact, in ISKCON, sannyasis all dress up very nicely, in the sense, same saffron only, but they'll not wear shabby clothes and all that. They'll be very careful about uh, getting it nicely washed and cleaned and ironed and nice, this thing, so that they look very presentable. You know, yeah, they take care of that. At least, I mean, that's not really, that's a service, because they're meeting with people and all that. Not only that, it's good to want to dress up nicely, to be presentable, as a service to Krishna. We are parts of Krishna, and Krishna is so well dressed. He's so beautiful, and we are going to represent him. And we go in a shabby way. What will people think? They will not be impressed. Oh, no, no. What is this? But actually, Krishna is what is a Rasika Shekara, or he's a connoisseur of all this thing, and he knows how to dress up very nicely. We don't, no, we don't dress up like Krishna, but whatever we are dressing, it has to be very nice so that people will be attracted. Oh, devotees, very nice. See how nice they look, very presentable. I mean, not elaborate or lavish or something, but simple but very attractive and very um, nice. So that and the Mayavadi sannyasis, they think anyway, I'm Brahman, I'm not the body. So I don't know how they dress up. They probably wear, you know, they don't mind wearing crumpled dhoti. You don't feel attracted by seeing them because they are not supposed to be the body at all. So they, maybe some don't like, I mean, maybe some sannyasis dress well. One, this Jaggi Vasudeva is not a sannyasi, but he's an impersonalist. But he dresses up very nicely in whatever way he wants. But there are some others who want to show that they're very detached. Jaggi Vasudeva is not like that. I mean, I don't know if he has reached the Brahman stage or what. I don't know exactly. No, he does say that I also, we can also become Shiva. So I don't know, it's hodgepodge. But generally, but Vaishnava sannyasis want to use everything in the service of Krishna. The most intimate devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, namely Gadadhar Pandita, accepted the Three Danda sannyasi and also accepted Madhava Upadhyaya as his Three Dandi sannyasi disciple. It is said that from this Madhvacharya, from this Mad, from this Madhvacharya, the Sampradaya known in Western India as the Vallabhacharya Sampradaya has begun. Oh, what is that? That is because actually Gadadhar Pandit, he also gave initiation to Vallabhacharya and he accepted Tridanda Sannyasi and accepted Madhava Upadhyay as his Tridandi Sannyasi disciple. It is said that from this Madhvacharya, the Sampradaya known in Western India as the Vallabhacharya Sampradaya has begun. Srila Gopala Bhatta Vasu, who is known as Smriti Acharya in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, later accepted the Tridanda Sannyasa order from the Tridandipada Prabodhananda Saraswati. Although acceptance of Tridanda Sannyasa is not distinctly mentioned in the Gaudiya Vaishnava literature, the first verse of Srila Rupa Goswami's Upadeshamrita advocates that one should accept the Tridanda Sannyasa order by controlling the six forces Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, Jihva Vegam, Udaropasta Vegam, Etan Vegan Yo Vishaheta Dhira, Sarvam Sarvam Apimam Prithvim Cha Shishyat. One Prithvim Sa Shishyat. One who can control the forces of speech, mind, anger, belly, tongue, and genitals is known as a Goswami and is competent to accept disciples all over the world. The followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never accepted the Mayavada order of sannyasa, and for this they cannot be blamed. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted Sridhar Swami, who was a Tridandi sannyasi, but the Mayavadi sannyasis, not understanding Sridhar Swami, sometimes think that Sridhar Swami belonged to the Mayavada Ekadanda sannyasa community. Actually, this was not the case because those days there were not so many Vaishnava sannyasis. So many of the Vaishnavas took, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, who took from Mayavadi school, but in heart they were not. They just because many things are common between Vaishnavas and um, these Mayavadi, this thing, like all the Vedas and the rituals and all that. So they just to get sannyas from a sannyasi they took, but in their heart they were surrendered only to Krishna, using body, mind, and words in the service of Krishna. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Nirvidya Nashta Dravine Gataklama Pravrajya Gam Paryattamana Ittam Nirakrito Asadbhir Api Swadharmad Akampito Mam Munir Ahaghatam. Lord Sri Krishna said, thus becoming detached upon the loss of his property, the sage gave up his moroseness. He left home, taking sannyasa, and began to travel about the earth. Even when insulted by foolish rascals, he remained unswerved from his duty and chanted this song. Purport: those becoming free from the materialistic way of life, which involves grueling austerities performed to acquire money, may chant the preceding song of the Vaishnava sannyasi. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura states that if one is not capable of listening to the song of this sannyasi, then one will certainly remain an obedient servant of material illusion. So somehow we were listening to this song of this sannyasi. So we are not going to be an obedient servant of material illusion. So that is how, this is an example of how somebody gave up their moroseness, but they didn't get what they want, and then they just became detached and gave up their moroseness. The other person is Pingala, which who we saw. Um, who was the one who talked about it? I think one of those Navayogendras, and in to King Nimi, and in that he mentions for examples from how to see. I don't know which Yogendra spoke that about how to study from nature, how to learn. And so one of the things he mentioned was this Pingala prostitute, how one day she was waiting and waiting and waiting outside her house to attract some customers. She's a prostitute. So she wanted to attract, and nobody came. She was having a good life, because probably she was very popular and all that. She's making good money. And then one day, what happened? She was waiting and waiting, nobody came. So that made her very, very agitated in the beginning. And then after that, somehow she must have done some spiritual practices earlier. Some Sukriti was there. So then she thought, what's the point? Material life, this it is always going to be like this. You can't get everything the way we want. And she became detached and she renounced uh, this thing, way of life. So she is another example. Becoming detached upon the loss of his property, the sage gave up his moroseness. He left home, taking sannyas, and began to travel about the earth. Even when insulted by foolish rascals, he remained unswerved from his duty and chanted this song. So when he renounced, he really renounced. He didn't renounce because, oh, now it's not favorable mode of passion. Now nothing is working my way, so I will take sannyas. Then afterwards, you meet something favorable, then you'll think, okay, now let me enjoy. That is, that's false. I mean, that's what did Krishna call that in the third chapter? Um, false sannyasi, right? You will be a sannyasi in name only, right? What did he call that?
Midhyachara, right?
Huh?
Midhyachara.
Mityachara. Okay. So that's what you are. Simply you're a false pretender. Yeah, that's what. Don't be a pretender, he said. But he really gave it up. And then in his heart, that is why he became so realized. And even when insulted by foolish rascals, he remained unswerved from his duty and chanted this song. That is a real test. Even when people are, insulting you, foolish people maybe, and we don't say, do you know who I am? And you just keep quiet and accept it as just a reaction. You can't do anything. If somebody is a rascal, foolish, and he's insulting you, you cannot talk sense to such a person. You just, so if you can take it, then one will certainly, otherwise, I mean, we have to take it. Otherwise, one will certainly remain an obedient servant of material illusion. And we have to come to this point if we want to really help others, because people are in illusion. And if we are also half an illusion, how we can help? We ourselves are in illusion. We can't. But if you want to really help people, we can by doing all the work, not by having to take a Tridanda sannyasi and all. In the heart, we start doing work for the pleasure of Krishna. That's all. And we are okay. Whatever, however people insult us or praise us, both should be same. Otherwise, you can't be happy in this material world. If you don't follow that formula which Krishna has prescribed, we will be tossed about in the ocean. I did it, or I am the enjoyer. If we are very obsessed with that, and then all this won't make sense at all. Okay, let's stop now. So this is the best thing for even to get along in this world, because there the next verse talks about that. But anyway, today it says that no other force besides his own mental confusion makes the soul experience happiness and distress. His perception of friends, neutral parties, and enemies, and the whole material life he builds around this perception are simply created out of ignorance. So so anything based on ignorance is material illusion. Thinking that I'm this body, it may not be easy to like a jnana yogi. He is always convinced I'm not the body. Now we are not doing jnana yoga, but for us it's even easier and more sublime. And what is that? To think as servant of Krishna. And that's why we start the day chanting Hare Krishna mantra, which is appealing to the Lord, engage me in your service. And we have to understand that what is coming between me and Krishna is only my mind. And so we give up this false identity. We can give it up. That's the only thing we need to sacrifice. We don't need to sacrifice anything else. Even, I mean, people are afraid, oh, maybe, then we have to give up all our wealth, and I have to give up my house, I have to give up living with my family. No, all that are not the barriers. The barriers is your mind influenced by the false ego to think I'm this body and mind, especially. So we just have to work on that. That's all. Internal cleaning. We become very humble. Somebody who's very humble and he does all the duties very nicely, he will display all good qualities without being a sannyasi even, because he has got the essence. So that's what we, wherever good examples exist, you should become inspired, and you should use them as role models. Oh, see how nicely they're doing. I too wish to do like that. I too, whatever work I'm doing, I simply want to uh, be detached from the results, and I want to give up my false ego, the mind, and not all its desires, because it's not me at all. It's something that I've collected down the way, some trash. Somewhere in one of the lifetimes, I don't know, some desire came up and it's just sticking there. It is just external to me. None of what the mind says is internal. It's all external. Unless the mind says, I want pure devotional service, then you can listen to the mind. Until then, never. It'd be great if the mind starts telling us, yes, yes, let's do devotional service. Then it's very easy to concentrate and do. The mind itself becomes a devotee, then fantastic. But because then all the senses will be under control. And that's why he's saying that in order to become a Guru, uh, Vishwa Guru or Jagat Guru. The qualifications required, all the senses have to be controlled. So we don't do it like the Mayavadi sannyasis. Leave everything, go, don't eat nice food, don't live nicely, don't wear nice clothes, and just chant. Um, so our method is not like that. But we want to use everything in Krishna's service, not be attached to the results. And that's the thing. When you're doing work, are you thinking about the results, or you just thinking about Krishna? Please help me to do nicely. Whatever, the results will always be good. If we are meditating on Krishna, everything will turn out fine. That is a fact. That is why Krishna says, think of me and do your duty. That's all we need to do. And for that, we are doing all the purifications possible so that we are able to chant properly and live properly in the proper attitude of being a servant of Krishna. Thank you very much, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Mataji, just a few words, if you have a time, about Vasanta Panchami, Mataji.
Go to prayers.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, can you hear me?
We pray for his complete recovery of His Holiness Jayaptak Swami, and also for all Srila Prabhupada disciples, also for all our devotees and their families. And we pray that there should not be any terrorist attacks on India, and including the state of Manipur, everything is settled and peaceful. And also in the outside world, there is, other in the rest of the world also, there is no wars. Okay, let us chant 3 times Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna 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 Hare
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 Rama,
Hare
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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Hare
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 Rama, Hare
Rama Hare
Rama, Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama
Hare Hare.
Hare
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 Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Hare.
Mataji, Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji.
and then
Mataji?
okay, we pray for
Mataji, can you hear us, Mataji?
recovery, and we pray
I think Mataji, she's not able to hear us. Maybe Chinnaga in the volume.
Yeah, she's not able to hear.
no, Radhika Mataji's speedy recovery.
We'll type, Keshavi, please type the message.
And
Sure,
we
sure.
pray for Vasantraga Mataji's good health, and Nandana Mataji, Chandana Mataji, and okay. And then we pray for Venkatpati Prabhu's speedy recovery and good health, and also for Neeraja Mataji for her good health and well-being. And we pray for Krishna conscious and Krishna conscious and healthy child, and we pray for baby Radhesh's Krishna conscious progress. Yeah, and we pray for Prasanna Revati Mataji's parents and brothers, good health, well-being, and Krishna conscious progress. Then we pray for Krishna conscious progress of Vrinda, Narayani, Uday Bhaskar Prabhu, and Ditya, Devish, and Radhika. We pray that Anand Prabhu should do the board exams very well. Also for Devish, that he should do very well in his board exams. Then we pray for Neelangani Mataji, Neeluma Prabhu, and Neeraj's good health, well-being, and Krishna conscious progress. And we pray for Nagna Jyoti Mataji's husband to get back all his dues. And we pray for Usha Sri Mataji for her Usha Sri Mataji to get cured soon. And we pray for the success of Kidzin School and Touchstone School. Okay, then we pray for speedy recovery of Sarvavandya Mataji, Janavi, Sarvavandya Mataji's mother. Okay, then Janava also, and also Sarvavandya's mother, and for all the speedy recovery. And we pray for speedy recovery of Vidya Mataji's parents and Rangavali Mataji's father, and Vidya Swarupani Mataji's father, Tarak Sankirtan Prabhu, Lalit Sharma, his brother, and Chandrakala Mataji's aunt for all the speedy recovery. We pray for Krishna Mata, Yeshomati Mataji's speedy recovery. And we pray for Uddhav Prabhu's aunt for speedy recovery. And then we pray for all auspicious blessings on Divya Shri Janana Mata, her mother and brother. And we pray for Sakhi Kalavati Mataji's speedy recovery, and also for all blessings upon her family, and also her son Unni Krishnan's all auspicious blessings on him, and also on Radhikanath Prabhu and Vrindaneshwari Mataji. Then we pray for Krishna conscious blessings upon to make we pray for Krishna conscious progress for Vinod Prabhu and family, Tarak Sankirtan Prabhu and family, Anukampa Mataji and family, Aditya Prabhu and family, Ravi Tej, Pranav, Kavya Mataji and family, Kavya Mataji, Vaibhava Mataji and family, and Sukhakar Prabhu and family, Vidya Swarupani Mataji's parents, Pratibha Mataji and family, Sini Mataji and family, Disha Mataji and family, Pratibha Mataji and Sini, Disha, Shilpa Mataji and family, and Samyukta and her son, and Shilpa, Radhika Mataji and family, Radha Mataji and family, Preeti Rupa Chitra Mataji and family, Mansi Mataji and family, Pradeep and Anand, and Abhishek Prabhu's good health and Krishna conscious progress. So, and we pray that these following people get their jobs very soon, which is Kenny Prabhu and Jitendra Prabhu, Madan Mohan Prabhu, and who else? Ashubha Maya's Mataji's husband. So we pray that they get the job very soon. And also the okay, then we pray for our center that it gets ready soon and we're able to shift there soon. And once okay, yeah, and Lingraj Dham should do very well, and Srila Prabhupada Dham should do very well, and yeah. So let us chant 3 times Hare Krishna for everybody. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama,
Hare
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 Rama,
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 Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama
Rama, Rama
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare
Ma Hare
Rama, Rama
Rama, Rama
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Hare Hare.
Vanchakalpatarubhya, Kripasindhubhya, Patranam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namah, Anantapurti Vaishnavavrinda, each time. Did any of you all say anything? I just realized my volume was off. I couldn't hear anybody.
Okay.
Somebody said anything?
Yes, yes, Mataji. Myself and Vasundhara Mataji were trying to talk to you.
What is it?
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. We want to hear about Vasanta Panchami. So if you have a time, just share a few words, Mataji. If you have a time.
Vasant Panchami. Okay, maybe. Oh, today is it?
Yes,
That.
yes, Mataji.
Vasant Panchami, and that's the time when Krishna and the gopis, what do? Radha and Krishna. What happens on Vasant Panchami day?
But this generally the Vaishnava tradition is that something they say it's a spring season, and normally in Mayapur and all they dress the deities with yellow, things and all. But otherwise, I mean, here people generally consider it as a worshipping Mother Saraswati. It's generally they call it's her birthday, something like that.
For Saraswati.
Yeah, so just like we have.
Yes. And they have a lot of cultural programs and all that, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, Mataji. Just like Durga they worship, and I mean Dasara, so Lakshmi and Diwali. So this is generally considered as for Mother Saraswati's. I mean, starting Vidyaramba and things like that. So maybe they wanted to hear, since these people have schools, they wanted to hear something about it.
Oh. Anyway, Saraswati is, you can worship her always. She's the wife of, Narayana. And here, of course, Brahmaji's this thing. And she's in charge of all knowledge. And she's such a great devotee. So she's the one who gives us the ability for everything, for understanding, knowledge, speech, and all intelligence, everything comes from her. So naturally, for the service of Krishna, we use it in a proper way, not to just become puffed up and have full false ego, but devotees should want to serve Krishna better. So may she bless all of us with higher knowledge and learning, good memory power, and ability to, speak also, and so everything for the service of Krishna, and all cultural things also, abilities to do all that, not for just gratifying our senses, but using all in the service of Krishna. So she is very, very pure Saraswati. She's wearing white dress and standing on a white lily, and very pure, because she's the one of knowledge. No, all knowledge rests in her. Naturally, she's so pure, transcendental knowledge. So, of course, we'll pray to Saraswati Devi for all purity of thought and all knowledge and devotion. Okay. Maybe I'll look up if there's something special, then tomorrow we'll discuss. Okay.
Sure, Mataji. Mataji, today is day where Yashoda Maya, she puts yellow color to the hands of Radharani. That's how Pila Kund has
That
formed.
happened today, yeah.
I don't know, Mataji. Just I don't remember. That's the reason I was asking you.
I
Is
don't
it today?
remember reading that it happened on
Actually,
Vasant Panchami Day.
Radharani and Ramadhav, they wear yellow color dress today. Is that the story today happened? I don't remember. I was
Mataji,
trying.
just generally they welcome spring season, Mataji. That's why in all the ISKCON temples and North Indian temples, they wear yellow or green color. outfits and all. They're just welcoming mother, new leaves and new that will come, right, mother? Saplings will come. That's why this is the starting of spring season. Just to celebrate that, they make it yellow, mother, yellow or green.
Okay.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, okay. So they dress up Krishna and Radha also in yellow. Okay.
They play this Vasanta Ragam, Mataji. In Carnatic music, we have that, right, Mataji? So
Mm.
Vasanta Ragam, and that Ragam they play.
Yeah, that's a very
Yeah, very
bubbly and very lively.
yeah, yes, Mataji. Very lively and very melodious also. Just to enjoy that spring season, they play that Ragam in different temples also. I heard, Mataji.
Mm. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. श्रील गुरुदेव की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्रीमद् भागवतम ग्रंथ राज की जय, वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
वैष्णव
जय
Yeah.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
Hare Krishna Mataji, Pranamam.